Now at 7, wicked winds forcing trees to come crashing down. We're taking a look at the widespread damage.
The wild weather is nearly behind us, making way for sunshine and cooler temperatures this weekend.
Also,
I didn't think it was going to happen. I never would have thought that a little girl, 14 years old, would, I don't know.
trick-or-treating turning tragic in Revere when a car hits a teenage girl while she was crossing a busy intersection.
And the resolution is adopted without objection. The motion to reconsider is laid upon the table.
House lawmakers making a historic vote, deciding to move forward with the impeachment inquiry and make the investigation open to the public.
This is 7 News Today in New England.
Now on 7, an evening of treats.
It's nice. It's actually warm. The breeze is beautiful.
To a night of tricks. Trees down, power out, buildings damaged by wicked winds. And breaking overnight on this Friday morning, a tree cutting through a home in Douglas. This is a live look at the aftermath, and you can see that tree just cutting right through the middle of that home right near the chimney. We'll have a live report in just a moment. Good morning, and thanks for being with us on this Friday as the cleanup continues. My name's Amaka Ubaka.
And I'm Juliana Mazza. I mean, we had some wild weather hitting the Bay State overnight. Now many are trying to deal with that damage, as you mentioned, Amaka. Part of the building here getting ripped off by the wind in Chelsea. Trees and power lines also coming down. We want to get a check of that forecast with Chris Lambert. And Chris, when are we going to get some relief here?
So the wind's not as strong as they were overnight, so we've dropped the current gust to about 40 miles an hour across the area. It will be windy throughout the day, so we'll continue to see a gusty wind out of the west. We're also seeing temperatures beginning to drop off. We were in the low to mid 70s at 4 o'clock in the morning, now down to 57 in Boston, 48 in Worcester. Satellite and radar composite just about to taper that rain off across the Cape. We've dried out in the city of Boston, drying out through Worcester County. Seeing the sunshine return, and that sunshine is going to hold on as we go through the afternoon. Busy breeze, temperatures only recovering back to about 55 this afternoon, and then as we head into the weekend, it does look like we'll be off to a chilly start. In fact, about 40 in Boston overnight tonight, 30s widespread in the suburbs. Cool weekend overall, mostly dry though. The forecast ahead.
All right, we have a traffic alert out there. We had a problem on the T, and I know, Elaine, you got some video to show us showing what the problem was.
Yeah, well, you can see crews here working to remove a tree that fell on the tracks of the Green Line. This is affecting the D branch. The tree fell near the Chestnut Hill Station, and because of that, trains can't make their way through. So shuttle buses are replacing service between Newton Highlands and Kenmore Station this morning. You can take the train, though, from Riverside to Newton Highlands, but then from there, you'll have to hop on a bus and, of course, tack on an extra 20 to your morning commute. Guys?
All right, breaking overnight, wild weather sending a tree crashing on top of a Douglas home and cutting it in half. A man was inside the home at the time. 7's John Coco was live for us on the scene with the breaking details. And, John, we see the damage behind you.
How do you see this happen?
Yeah, Amaka, we've been checking out some of this damage all morning, but this is by far the worst damage that we've seen. You can see right here where this tree just cuts through the middle of this home. And here's the crazy part. If you follow this tree all the way back this way, you can see that this is actually not even the whole tree. You can see where this part broke off here. Now, we spoke with the homeowner, and he says he knows that this could have been much worse.
I was laying in my bed around 12 o'clock last night, and I heard a big crash come through the house, and here we are. I got a branch from a tree landed in my house. Nobody got hurt, thank God. My cousin was supposed to sleep over and sleep on the floor. If he did, we wouldn't be here today.
Yeah, really scary stuff when you hear that homeowner talk about this large section of that tree coming down right here in the middle of his home. At this point, tens of thousands of people are still without power across the state. So today, a lot of people will be cleaning up and trying to get that power back on. For now, we're live in Douglas. John Coco, 7 News Today, New England.
Now on 7.
We all started screaming, call 911, call 911.
A teen rushed to the hospital.
It's just a really, really bad intersection. Like, some people speed up, they don't stop.
After she was hit on Halloween.
That 14-year-old girl was on her way to Boston to go trick-or-treating when a car hit her as she was crossing a busy intersection. 7's Kim Lucy live in Revere with the details for us.
As you would imagine, just a terrifying night for these friends. They say they watched this girl get hit right in front of their eyes here at this busy intersection in Revere. And they say it happened when they were on their way to Boston to go trick-or-treating. Trick-or-treating turning tragic. Halloween night ending up more scary than these teens could ever imagine.
I felt like if it was my sister that got hit by a car, like, I didn't think it was going to happen. I never would have thought that a little girl, 14 years old, would, I don't know, I'm shocked.
Friends say a 14-year-old girl was hit by a car. It happened on American Legion Highway in Revere just before 8 p.m.
I mean, we all started screaming, call 911, call 911.
Aya Beno says she was with a group of about 6 friends. They were heading to the T-stop to take the Blue Line into Boston for trick-or-treating. One friend was walking ahead of the group, and that's when she says she was hit right in front of their eyes.
I would see people and be like, oh, wow, like, but I would never actually think that something like this would happen to someone close. So I just want to say, please, please, please be careful when you're crossing the street.
She says her friend wasn't talking when an ambulance came to take her to the hospital. All of this, tough for the teens to handle.
It's just a really, really bad intersection. Like, some people speed up, they don't stop. Like, it's just really bad.
Now Revere and state police are investigating, while friends hope that 14-year-old will be okay.
She's really nice. I love her. She's beautiful, and I really hope she's doing okay. And I send my prayers to her family.
At this point, police are not saying how that girl is doing at the hospital. They do say the driver of the car that hit her did stop. No word on any charges at this point. They say that part is under investigation. We're live in Revere. Kim Lucy, 7 News, Today in New England.
Police searching for a driver who hit and killed a woman in Fitchburg. Witnesses say a woman was hit while crossing the John Fitch Highway last night. Police say the driver just took off. The victim was rushed to a hospital where she later died. People in the area say it's a dangerous intersection.
It is definitely not a great intersection, I'll say that. And especially when, it's not very well lit in this road, if someone's wearing dark clothing or whatnot and they're not being careful, sometimes, something like that may happen.
So police are looking for any surveillance video that might have captured the incident.
One man's recovering in the hospital. Another's dead after a shooting in Roslindale. Police say the 2 men were shot on American Legion Highway yesterday afternoon. Both rushed to the hospital.
Now to the impeachment inquiry. The House of Representatives is divided over how to move forward with President Trump's controversial call with Ukraine. But lawmakers voted to pass the resolution formalizing the investigation. 2 Democrats, Representatives Jeff Van Drew of New Jersey and Colin Peterson of Minnesota, broke from their party yesterday, voting no. No Republicans supported the resolution. 7's Dan Housley is live for us in Washington, D.C. with all the details. Dan?
Well, this morning, either side can claim victory. The Democrats, of course, ultimately because they passed that resolution by a large margin. But Republicans can point to the fact that they kept all their members in line and, in fact, got a couple of those Democratic defectors to come to their camp. But ultimately this morning, we have House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and President Trump on a collision course that seems more than ever to inevitably lead to a vote to impeach the president.
This is a sad thing for our country. We do this prayerfully, with great seriousness. Nobody goes to Congress to impeach a president.
House Majority Leader Nancy Pelosi stopping by The Late Show just hours after she led a vote to move forward on President Trump's impeachment process.
In my view, he possibly violated his oath of office to protect, defend, and preserve the Constitution of the United States.
The president hitting back at Democrats over the vote on a British politician's podcast.
The Democrats are desperate. They're desperate. They have nothing. They've got nothing going.
Despite President Trump's dismissals, the public hearings will soon be rolling on. Democrats hoping the open testimony will convince the public the president abused his power by leveraging military aid to Ukraine for dirt on former Vice President Joe Biden.
Would I use Ukraine to beat sleepy Joe Biden?
What was the president's conduct? What did he do? Did he break the law? And is that okay now?
Thursday's vote ran along party lines, with the exception of 2 Democrats who broke ranks.
Not only did every single Republican reject the Soviet-style impeachment process, but we were even joined by Democrats who couldn't stand it anymore.
And they see a largely party line vote. Should they take anything from it that it's anything more than politics?
Well, look, blame the Republican Party for not owning up to the mistakes of their commander-in-chief.
Republican Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell reportedly advised President Trump to not criticize some in his party because he'll continue to need them. For now, though, they're standing by him.
Will you all go on the record and say that the president did nothing inappropriate?
Very clear, yes.
Well, the partisan divide continued to be on display after yesterday's closed-door testimony. It was Tim Morrison, a former National Security Council advisor to the president on Russian affairs. The Democrats say it was a win for them, that he backed up statements made before that the president was pressuring Ukraine, using military aid to get political dirt on the Bidens. But the Republicans point out that Morrison also said that he saw nothing illegal with what the president did. We're live in Washington. Dan Housley, 7 News Today in New England.
And Dan, former National Security Advisor John Bolton has been called to testify after yesterday's hearings. How likely is that now?
Well, this seems to be a guessing game that changes by the day. At one point, Bolton's lawyer said he's not coming unless he gets a subpoena, suggesting that maybe he was angling for the subpoena, then he would come. But there were a couple of court cases yesterday with potential witnesses who were asking a judge, look, I've been given a subpoena. Does that mean I have to come or not? But the judge said he's not even going to hear arguments until December 10th. So it doesn't look like the court matter is going to be settled if Bolton was looking for that to decide what to do. Back to you.
All right, Dan Housley live for us in our nation's capital this morning. Thank you. All right, so the big question is what's next in the impeachment inquiry? Well, first, the Intelligence Committee, led by Chairman Adam Schiff, will hold hearings and produce a report. That report will go to the Judiciary Committee headed by New York Congressman Jerry Nadler. They'll hold more hearings and decide whether to draft articles of impeachment. If they do so, those articles will go to the floor for a vote in the House of Representatives, led by Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
And an address change for President Trump. He's making Florida his primary residence now. The lifelong New Yorker filed paperwork to make Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach his official address. Insiders say the move is for tax purposes because Florida doesn't collect income tax. The president says he will always love New York and its people. In a tweet, the president wrote, despite the fact that I pay millions of dollars in city, state, and local taxes each year, I've been treated very badly by the political leaders of both the city and state. Few have been treated worse.
New wildfires breaking out in Southern California. This is new video of the Maria fire in Ventura County. It started Thursday, forcing evacuations. Firefighters say the flames exploded to cover more than 4,000 acres in just a few hours. The powerful winds making it tough to contain the flames. And hundreds of firefighters were sent to the Maria fire. Many of them were already in the area fighting another wildfire nearby. There are now at least 14 wildfires burning throughout the state, and more than 100,000 acres of land have been torched. So when it comes to the Hillside fire near Los Angeles, at least 6 homes have been destroyed there. But new hope for the state this morning. The National Weather Service says the strong winds fueling those flames are expected to die down today, and it's giving firefighters a better chance of stopping them.
And I mean, you see that video, such a scary situation happening in so many different areas of the state.
Just tough for everyone involved here, and our hearts go out to all of those dealing with this issue right now.
And we still have so much more ahead on the news station this morning.
Stay with us on 7 News at 7. Don't go anywhere. Ahead at 7.
Go ahead, pull your little phone out, do your little Google search.
In trouble with the law. Except that's no officer.
We're at a turning point heading into the weekend.
The heartwarming reason a nurse adopts a man living with autism. We're helping you see the good.
And that's not all. Coming up at 7:30, an apparent standoff in the streets, all over some trash talk.
And a woman says her windshield was wiped out in a car wash, and when she couldn't get help, she called Solve It 7.
Plus, why it's so slow. Headed into the O'Neill Tunnel. Take a live look at the Zakim Bridge. And I'm tracking a major problem if you take the Green Line D branch. You'll want to tune in for that. Stay with us.
And breaking overnight, wild weather hitting the Bay State. This is a live look here. A tree falling on top of a Douglas home, cutting it in half. Now that the sun has come up, you can see all of the damage here. The siding just coming off of this home here. We'll have live updates throughout the morning for you right here on the news station.